Hello and welcome back to Halcyon Blink. I'm your host Lorne. On this episode I'm going to be taking a look at a game that I've, got to be honest, really struggled completing. Deus Ex, Mankind Evolved. This game's kind of a tricky one to kind of sum up to people. On the one hand, this game's got a lot going for it in terms of its style, in terms of its gameplay, its progression, and its ability to guide the player using branching conversational paths, much in the way of, say, Fallout or Mass Effect. And on the other hand, the gameplay isn't straightforward. It's not your typical run and gun sort of first person shooter, but by the same time it's not the tactical third person kind of shooter where you select a goal or an objective to attack. It's kind of hard to balance between the two sometimes, meaning that this game does come across as quite involving and very difficult to get to grips with in the first few hours. And as a result, it's very difficult to categorise, with the game often punishing players who go running and gunning and guns blazing first, with exploration and countenance being encouraged more than that by kind of advising the player to go around battles or to be more tactful when you're going into battles rather than just that never really happens. I'd say that this game is best suited to those who are looking to test their wits to the absolute limit. More casual players are going to really struggle with this kind of stop-start gameplay, whereby you'll start a level, you'll be traversing through its world, collecting items and things of that nature, like other RPGs, but in the combat just feels there's so much more jeopardy involved, at least until the later part of the game when you've unlocked a few things. In fact, I would say that this game has more in common in terms of theme and application of gameplay with Metal Gear Solid than it does with any kind of first-person shooter or any other RPG, just in terms of its emphasis on stealth, running themes of humanity and the issues that we face as a species, and also the implementation of combat with robotics and, the whole cybernetic debate of when is human, when is not, and blah blah, yellow, everything. The game itself has great soundtrack but serviceable graphics. There are a few bugs and glitches and the load times are insane. Even when you download the game to your hard drive, it's a little bit better, but it's still overall technically flawed, which kind of holds the game back from being excellent or a completely enjoyable experience. Hence why I say that it's going to take you a while to get to grips with the game as a whole, because it just takes so long to get going, and it takes a long time if you're not used to that kind of style to get invested and get involved properly. And considering the story is one that's, again, kind of forgettable, there's a main protagonist by the name of Adam who just sounds like Batman, you might be left remembering it too long after it's done. And again, just to come back to the graphics for a second, the weird juxtaposition between the CGI rendered graphics of the trailer, which are nothing like the CGI rendered graphics in the game, compared to the in-game graphics, where the models themselves are just puppeted, kind of like, say, Knights of the Old Republic. It's weird because the in-game graphics, and I think a few other reviewers have touched on this, the in-game graphics actually kind of look better than the super shiny, unrealistic, moving CGI rendered graphics that the engine puts up. It's really weird. They should have just stuck to the single track of just rendering everything in-game, and it would have looked a little bit better. So to sum up, this game really isn't for those who want to hit the ground running with a game. If you find it difficult to get invested in a game, this is not for you in the slightest. But if you're willing to invest the time and get invested in the story, the lore, the mythos, you're willing to spend time exploring the surroundings, talking to everyone, enhancing your skills and abilities, then this game will be very, very rewarding for you down the line, with the ending being kind of cut and dry. The story's not what's going to keep you going in this game. It is the unique nature of its gameplay. It's unlike anything else that I've played up to now in terms of its amalgamation of first-person shooting, or the ability to go into first-person shooting mode, the stealth aspects of some games such as like Metro Last Light, or like I say, Metal Gear Solid, or even the turn-based mechanics of only having certain amounts of preordained actions that you can select and utilize before you run out of energy. Kind of like the turn-based thing from Knights of the Old Republic. It's kind of weird to make that comparison, but it is that sort of one 2, 3, okay, fine, now I'm out, I've got to back off or take cover or something. Again, if you want to check out what a good amalgamation of, say, something like Mass Effect would be, only with less space travel and less fluidity in combat, then this game might be worth checking out, especially if you hadn't checked it out from the previous generation, jumped into the most recent edition, which reviewers have been absolutely panning. I plan to get that one reviewed at some stage and make an eraser on that. Fortunately, it's not on my list of things to do right now, hence why I wanted to get this one out of the way, and then we'll move on to bigger and better things. But definitely check it out if you haven't before. Just be ready for a lot of compromises to be made to get to the gooey nougat centre that is the good part of this game. And if I'm going to give the rating a game a rating out of 10, I don't know. Let's be kind. Let's give it a 7. It's a 7. It's a game that I'm not going to be playing again, but it's a game that I'm glad I picked up and gave a try, just because everyone else had given it a bash and said, yeah, it's pretty good. But I would say, yeah, 7 out of 10 is fair. Just overall graphics, the presentation, the technicality, and the application of the game itself. It's good. It's decent. Just not something that you'll be running back to play again. So thanks very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. To any new subscribers, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much indeed. I really, really appreciate your support and your views and your comments. You've noticed, people, I've added a lot of new YouTubers to my featured channels list, and I'm promoting a lot of their channels. I'm going to be shifting focus very soon. I'm going to be getting to my 100th video. To get to my 100th video, I'm going to take a little break from YouTube and focus on other things like my weight. As you've probably noticed, I've put on a lot of weight recently, so I'm going to try and work that off. But in the meantime, I'm going to be using my channel to try and promote others. So please, if you've taken the time to watch this video, really appreciate it, but take the time to check out some of the other channels. I'll put links in the description below to the other channels, some of the videos that they've produced, some of the really great content providers that just don't have the kind of exposure that they should do, so please go and check them out if you can. So thanks very much again for watching. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.